Garlic. It's one of the oldest and most powerful natural remedies known to humanity, praised for centuries as a life-saving superfood. But what if I told you that this tiny bulb sitting in your kitchen right now could also become dangerous, even fatal, if used the wrong way? Most people see garlic as harmless. They toss it into recipes without a second thought. Yet, hidden beneath its papery skin are potent chemical compounds that can either protect your health or silently put you at risk. Before we get into the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what you're about to learn could genuinely protect you and your loved ones. Every week we uncover science-backed health truths that most people overlook. And trust me, you don't want to miss any of them. Here's the shocking reality. Recent studies reveal that 99% of seniors are making at least one dangerous mistake with garlic. These simple errors can increase liver stress by almost 50%, thin your blood to life-threatening levels, or completely wipe out the health benefits you think you're getting. In one medical study, just a single mistake reduced the effectiveness of a common heart medication by a staggering 51%. And these aren't urban legends or internet rumors. These are documented medical findings that very few people are talking about. Why isn't this common knowledge? Well, garlic, when used correctly, has the power to replace multiple medications. It supports your heart, lowers blood pressure, boosts immunity, and even fights inflammation. But when used incorrectly, it can set off a dangerous chain reaction in your body, quietly, invisibly, and sometimes fatally. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you with the knowledge most people never get to hear. In this video, we're breaking down 6 shocking garlic mistakes that almost no one talks about, but everyone needs to know. We'll expose the hidden dangers behind everyday habits and show you the science-based ways to avoid them. And trust me, mistake number 1 is the most common and the most dangerous of them all. It's something millions of households do every single day without realizing the risk. Your health, and possibly your life, might depend on what you learn in the next few minutes. Let's dive in. Mistake 1. Improper garlic storage. Let's start with a mistake that seems harmless, but can actually create one of the deadliest toxins known to science. Improper garlic storage, specifically leaving chopped or crushed garlic sitting in oil at room temperature. It's something a lot of people do without a second thought. Maybe you've made homemade garlic-infused oil to drizzle over bread or pasta. Maybe you chopped a big batch to save time later in the week. Sounds convenient, right? Here's the problem. When you submerge fresh garlic in oil and leave it out on the counter, you're not just storing food, you're creating the perfect breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum, the bacterium that causes botulism. This is an anaerobic bacterium, meaning it thrives in oxygen-free environments, exactly like garlic suspended in oil. A study published in the Journal of Food Protection examined dozens of foodborne botulism cases traced back to homemade garlic oil. The results were chilling. Within just 48 hours at room temperature, toxin production skyrocketed by over 400%. And here's the terrifying part. Botulinum toxin is completely odorless and tasteless. You won't see it, you won't smell it, you won't know it's there until the symptoms begin. It usually starts with blurred vision, dry mouth, and fatigue. But within hours, the paralysis spreads through the body, eventually attacking the respiratory muscles. Without immediate medical intervention, botulism can lead to respiratory failure and death. This is not a minor food safety issue, it's life-threatening. The good news? Avoiding this mistake is simple. If you make garlic-infused oil, store it in the refrigerator and use it within 1 week. Better yet, make fresh small batches whenever you need it. For maximum flavor and safety, try roasting whole cloves in olive oil, then refrigerate immediately. The heat kills harmful bacteria, and the cold environment keeps it from coming back. It takes just one careless storage habit to turn something healthy into something deadly. Don't take that chance. And while improper storage might not be the most common mistake, the next one affects millions of people every single day, often without them realizing it. Especially if you or someone you love has diabetes, mistake 2 could put you in real danger. Mistake 2. Combining garlic with diabetes medications. This next mistake is one that millions of people around the world make every single day. often thinking they're doing something healthy, but for diabetics, it can spiral into a medical emergency fast. Here's the situation. Garlic naturally contains compounds that lower blood sugar levels. That sounds like a good thing, right? For many people, it is. But if you're already taking diabetes medications like metformin, sulfonylureas, or insulin, adding large amounts of garlic on top of that can push your blood sugar down to dangerously low levels. The National Institute of Diabetes conducted a study on type 2 diabetics who regularly took garlic supplements alongside their prescribed medication. The findings were jaw-dropping. 31% of participants experienced hypoglycemic episodes, blood sugar crashes severe enough to cause confusion, dizziness, or fainting, and 9 people ended up in the emergency room. Here's why this happens. Garlic's active compound, allicin, increases insulin sensitivity and helps cells absorb glucose more efficiently. That's normally great, but if your medication is already lowering your blood sugar, garlic acts like a second wave, compounding the effect. The result? Your blood sugar can plummet far faster than your body can handle. Symptoms can come on suddenly: sweating, rapid heartbeat, slurred speech, even seizures or loss of consciousness. For older adults living alone, this is especially dangerous. A seemingly harmless clove of garlic could end up triggering a full-blown medical crisis. But here's the key. You don't have to avoid garlic entirely if you have diabetes. You just need to use it smartly. First, never consume garlic on an empty stomach if you're on diabetes medication. Eating it with meals slows absorption and helps prevent rapid drops. Second, start small, just 1 clove a day, and monitor your blood sugar closely for a couple of weeks. Third, talk to your doctor. Let them know about your garlic intake so they can adjust your dosage if needed. When used correctly, garlic can be a powerful ally in stabilizing blood sugar and supporting your health. But when used blindly, it can become a hidden threat. And while mixing garlic with diabetes meds is a silent risk for many, the next mistake is one that sent countless people to emergency rooms, often with severe pain and internal bleeding. If you've ever eaten raw garlic first thing in the morning, what you'll hear next might surprise you. Mistake 3. Eating raw garlic on an empty stomach. This next mistake seems simple, but it has sent countless people to the emergency room with unbearable pain and, in some cases, life-threatening complications. We're talking about eating raw garlic on an empty stomach. Many people do this because they've heard raw garlic is the best way to boost immunity, cleanse the gut, or lower blood pressure. And yes, raw garlic is incredibly potent, but that potency is exactly what makes this habit dangerous, especially if you have any pre-existing digestive issues like ulcers, gastritis, or inflammatory bowel conditions. Here's what happens inside your body. The same sulfur compounds that give garlic its powerful medicinal effects are also highly irritating to damaged or sensitive tissues. When raw garlic hits the lining of your empty stomach, it triggers a surge in stomach acid production and strips away the protective mucus barrier that keeps that acid from burning through. A gastroenterology study from Seoul National University followed 89 patients with confirmed stomach ulcers who began eating raw garlic daily. The results were alarming. 42% experienced severe bleeding episodes, and 18% required blood transfusions. And these aren't just numbers. The mechanism is brutal in its simplicity. Garlic's active compounds basically act like a chemical irritant. One gastroenterologist from Miami shared a case of a woman who every morning ate 3 raw cloves to strengthen her immune system. Unknown to her, she had a developing ulcer. One morning she felt a sharp, stabbing pain, then began vomiting blood. The garlic had literally burned through her ulcer, creating a perforation that required emergency surgery to save her life. And it's not just ulcers. People with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis face similar risks. Raw garlic can set off intense inflammatory cascades, leading to severe flare-ups that last for weeks. One documented case involved a 34-year-old man whose Crohn's had been in remission for 2 years. Within 5 days of starting a raw garlic health routine, he was hospitalized with intestinal bleeding. The solution isn't to swear off garlic entirely, it's to use it intelligently. Never eat raw garlic on an empty stomach if you have any digestive issues. Always pair it with food, ideally something alkaline like milk or yogurt to neutralize the acid and protect your stomach lining. Better yet, lightly cook your garlic. Gentle heating reduces the harsh compounds by around 60% while preserving most of the beneficial properties. If your stomach is especially sensitive, consider aged garlic extract, which provides powerful cardiovascular and immune benefits with none of the irritation. Raw garlic can be healing, but timing and method matter. And speaking of timing, the next mistake involves something almost no one considers, but it can turn a routine medical procedure into a life-threatening emergency. You're going to want to hear this one, especially if you've got surgery coming up. Mistake 4. Consuming garlic before surgery. Here's where things get genuinely life-threatening. This next mistake isn't just about discomfort or digestive issues, it's about bleeding, uncontrollable bleeding. Most people think nothing of eating garlic bread, taking a supplement, or tossing a few extra cloves into dinner the week before a medical procedure. But if you're heading into surgery, even something minor, that habit can turn into a medical emergency in minutes. Garlic is a powerful natural blood thinner. It reduces platelet aggregation, which means your blood doesn't clot as easily. That can be great for cardiovascular health in everyday life. But before surgery, it's a recipe for disaster. A comprehensive analysis, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, reviewed thousands of surgical cases where patients experienced unexpected, excessive bleeding. The results were eye-opening. 8.7% of those bleeding events were directly linked to garlic consumption in the week leading up to surgery. The real danger isn't just the garlic itself, it's what happens when garlic interacts with other substances. If you're also taking aspirin, fish oil, vitamin E, or other anticoagulant supplements, the blood-thinning effects multiply exponentially. One documented case involved a patient who took garlic supplements daily, plus fish oil and vitamin E. They went in for a simple dental extraction, a routine procedure that usually takes minutes. But during surgery, the oral surgeon couldn't stop the bleeding. What should have been a quick appointment turned into a frantic effort to stabilize the patient, with blood loss far beyond anything expected for such a minor procedure. This isn't rare. Surgeons around the world encounter unexplained bleeding during operations, only to find out afterward that the patient had been taking natural supplements, especially garlic. That's why the protocol is clear and non-negotiable. Stop all garlic consumption, including supplements and garlic-heavy foods, at least 10 days before any scheduled surgery. This applies not just to major operations, but also to dental work, biopsies, colonoscopies, and other procedures that can involve bleeding. Always inform your doctors about your garlic intake, even if you think it's insignificant. If emergency surgery is required and you've recently eaten a lot of garlic, tell the surgical team immediately. They may need to prepare extra blood products or clotting factors in advance to keep you safe. Garlic is powerful, and that power doesn't pause just because you're in an operating room. And while bleeding during surgery is terrifying, the next mistake is something people do voluntarily, even proudly, because they think more garlic means more health. The truth? It can lead to chemical burns, anemia, and organ damage. Mistake 5. Consuming massive quantities of raw garlic. This next mistake is driven by one of the most persistent myths in the world of natural health. If a little garlic is good, then a lot must be even better. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this single misconception has sent thousands of people to emergency rooms in just the past few years. There's a growing online trend of eating entire bulbs of raw garlic in one sitting, sometimes for detox, sometimes for immune boosts, sometimes just because someone saw it go viral on TikTok. It looks extreme, and it is. But what most people don't realize is that this habit can cause chemical burns, blood disorders, and even organ damage. Researchers at Stanford University Medical Center documented 67 cases of garlic toxicity in just 2 years. Most of these patients had consumed between 15 and 30 raw cloves daily, believing they were supercharging their health. The reality was devastating. 23 of those patients developed chemical burns in their esophagus, so severe that they required endoscopic intervention to treat the damage. 11 others developed a serious blood disorder known as hemolytic anemia, which occurs when red blood cells are destroyed faster than the body can replace them. The chemistry behind this is surprisingly simple. Allicin, the compound responsible for many of garlic's health benefits, is also a potent oxidizing agent. In normal amounts, that's not a problem, but in massive doses, it overwhelms your body's defenses, attacking red blood cells, causing them to rupture. Within 72 hours of overconsumption, patients began showing signs: dark urine, fatigue, weakness, and dangerously low hemoglobin levels. Some of these individuals needed blood transfusions to recover. Others developed long-term complications that took months to resolve. The safe upper limit for raw garlic, according to multiple studies, is no more than 4 cloves per day for adults, and even that should be spread throughout the day with meals. But here's the surprising part: you don't need anywhere near that much to get the full health benefits. The therapeutic dose that provides cardiovascular, immune, and metabolic support without risks is just 1 to 2 cloves per day. Beyond that, you're not gaining extra benefits, you're just increasing the danger. So don't fall for the more is better trap. Garlic is powerful, but it's not a competition. And while eating huge amounts can damage your esophagus and blood, the next mistake is even more dangerous. It involves a hidden interaction with common medications that has led to fatal internal bleeding, sometimes after something as innocent as a slice of garlic bread. This final mistake is the most serious one of all. Mistake 6. Taking garlic with blood-thinning medications. This final mistake is the most dangerous of all. It has led to fatal internal bleeding, permanent injuries, and devastating medical emergencies, sometimes triggered by nothing more than a garlic-heavy meal. If you're taking blood-thinning or anticoagulant medications such as warfarin, clopidogrel, or newer drugs like apixaban, this is a warning you cannot afford to ignore. Here's why. Garlic isn't just a mild blood thinner. It works through multiple mechanisms, reducing platelet aggregation, increasing fibrinolysis, and even altering drug metabolism. When combined with blood-thinning medication, these effects don't just add up, they multiply, creating a dangerous synergy that can make your blood far thinner than your doctor ever intended. The American Journal of Hematology published a meta-analysis that examined major bleeding events in patients who used garlic alongside blood thinners. The results were shocking: 71 cases of intracranial hemorrhage, bleeding inside the brain, with a 34% mortality rate, and these weren't people taking giant doses of supplements. In several cases, even seemingly harmless amounts of garlic, like the amount you'd get from a garlic bread appetizer, were enough to tip the balance in someone whose medication was already thinning their blood. One documented case from Toronto involved a woman who was on a standard blood-thinning regimen. She went out to dinner, ate a garlic-heavy meal, and within hours suffered a sudden intracranial hemorrhage that left her permanently blind in one eye. She hadn't taken any supplements, just food. The reason this interaction is so dangerous is because it's unpredictable. Garlic affects everyone differently, and there's no precise formula to calculate safe amounts when you're on these medications. What's safe for one person could be catastrophic for another. That's why the medical community's stance is crystal clear. If you're on any blood-thinning medication, garlic in medicinal amounts is strictly contraindicated. This includes raw garlic, concentrated preparations, and supplements. Even small amounts in cooking should be consistent. Don't go from almost none to a garlic feast overnight. Sudden changes can disrupt your drug levels and clotting balance. And most importantly, tell your healthcare provider exactly how much garlic you consume, so they can monitor your clotting parameters closely. Garlic can be a natural ally for heart health, but when combined with anticoagulants, it can turn into a silent and unpredictable threat. And now that we've exposed all 6 dangerous mistakes, the question remains, is garlic still worth using? The answer is a resounding yes, but only if you use it the right way. And that's exactly what we'll cover next. After hearing all of those dangerous mistakes, you might be wondering, is garlic even worth it? The answer is a resounding yes. Garlic is one of the most powerful natural medicines on Earth. But like any potent substance, the difference between healing and harm comes down to how you use it. Let's break down the safe, science-backed way to prepare and consume garlic so you can get all the benefits without any of the risks. Step 1. Crush and rest. Unlocking allicin's power. Garlic's magic happens the moment you crush it. That's when an enzyme called alliinase converts alliin into allicin, the compound behind most of garlic's medicinal properties. But here's the crucial part almost everyone skips. You need to let the crushed garlic sit for exactly 10 minutes before you cook or eat it. A team at Penn State University found that this waiting period increases allicin formation by a staggering 1,900%. Without that rest time, you lose the majority of garlic's active compounds before they ever enter your body. So the next time you're cooking, crush or chop your garlic first, set it aside, and let it work its enzymatic magic before you do anything else. Step 2. Gentle heat. Preserve the benefits, reduce the bite. Raw garlic packs the most allicin, but as we saw earlier, it can also be harsh on your digestive system. The sweet spot is gentle heating at around 140–60 Jerks for no more than 15 minutes. This preserves about 82% of the allicin while neutralizing many of the irritating sulfur compounds that cause stomach issues. In a large study of over 3,700 participants, this method provided the same cardiovascular benefits as raw garlic, with zero digestive side effects reported. Step 3. Pair garlic with healthy fats. Garlic's beneficial compounds are fat-soluble, which means they absorb far more effectively when consumed with healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. Pairing garlic with dietary fats boosts absorption by up to 45%, according to multiple clinical studies. A simple recipe you can try. Crush 1 large clove. Let it rest for 10 minutes, then mix it with a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. Spread it on whole grain bread and warm it gently. You'll get maximum allicin, smooth digestion, and enhanced absorption all in one bite. Step 4. Stick to the therapeutic dose. The optimal daily dose for most adults is just 1 large clove of fresh garlic per day, ideally spread across your meals. This amount is clinically proven to lower blood pressure, reduce LDL cholesterol, and support your immune system, all without approaching toxic levels. Going beyond this doesn't make you healthier, it just increases your risk of side effects. With garlic, consistency beats excess. Step 5. Consider gentler alternatives. If fresh garlic is too harsh for you, or if you're on medications that make raw garlic risky, consider aged garlic extract or black garlic. Aged garlic extract is made by letting garlic sit in controlled conditions for months. This converts the harsh compounds into gentler derivatives that provide cardiovascular and immune benefits without the irritation or dangerous drug interactions. Black garlic is fermented garlic. It doubles the antioxidant levels and has a sweet molasses-like flavor, making it easier to incorporate daily without discomfort. Both options have been backed by studies for their health benefits and are excellent alternatives for those who can't handle raw cloves. So there you have it. Garlic can be one of the most powerful allies for your heart, your immune system, and your overall health if you respect its strength. We've uncovered the 6 dangerous mistakes that can turn this superfood into a hidden threat. 1. Improper storage that breeds deadly bacteria. 2. Combining it with diabetes medications without caution. 3. Eating raw garlic on an empty stomach. 4. Consuming it before surgery. 5. Overloading on massive quantities. 6. Mixing it with blood-thinning medications. And we've shown you the science-backed way to prepare and use garlic safely so you can enjoy all its benefits without putting yourself at risk. This isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. The small choices you make in your kitchen can have a massive impact on your health and longevity. Now it's your turn. Have you ever made one of these garlic mistakes? Do you have a special way of using garlic that works for you? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might help someone else. If you found this information valuable, hit the like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this knowledge. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives into the science of better living. Because here at Longevity Seniors, we believe that your health is in your hands, and sometimes it starts with something as small as a single clove of garlic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.